Good afternoon. I am back for another chat with me video because I didn't do a video yesterday, so I need to do at least a couple videos because today is the last day of the month. So, today's chat with me video is going to be about my dream job that I got, and it would have been 24 years ago today that I got my dream job. I told everybody who would listen that when I was young, that I wanted to work with children. And so on April 30th of 2001, I started my dream job. I got a call at school a week prior. Oh no, a week prior like a week before that, I think I had the. No, I don't even remember because it's been 24 years now, but I had an interview and then a week later I got the job. It was started out as a volunteer job. And this was when Kathy was the boss. She did the interview. That's been 24 years. If COVID hadn't started back in 2020, but like the end of 2019 into 2020, I probably might still be there today, but then again, I'm not so sure because of last year to having my leg graft stop working and having to get a catheter. And so I don't know if I still would have been there or not, or if I would have been let go then. But that wasn't the case back then. So I worked there from uh, April 30th of 2001 through March 20th, which was specifically Friday, March 20th, 2020. That's when COVID was still kind of in its infant stages, if you remember, and me being on kidney dialysis, that makes me a little bit of immune compromised a little bit, and she just didn't want me to run the risk of getting COVID from any of like her or any of the coworkers or any of the children. So, and of course, back then we had no idea that COVID was going to last as long as it did. But year when year one went by, two went by, three went by, like 2020 came and went, 21, 22, 23, and I think if I, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know, but I think it might have started to end in March of 2023. Or was it 24? I don't know. But yeah. Anyway, as a result of that, she said, that she just wanted to let, she would probably have to let me go. Sorry, my voice is like rattling, just for my own safety. And we didn't know back then that it was going to last this long. And here it is, like no, 5 years later now since COVID, and COVID is pretty much not as bad as it used to be. I think it still may be around a little bit, but we've improved since then with like medications and vaccines and stuff. But yeah, the daycare job was my dream job. I started out on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I couldn't do it on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday because you guys all know that I have dialysis on Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays. So I just did it Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and that lasted for a while. When I first started out, it was from 9 o'clock in the morning until about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I was riding paratransit or STA or SASTA or whatever you want to call it. I don't know if you guys have paratransit anywhere or if that's just exclusive to Spokane and Spokane Valley and or just Washington State itself. I'm not sure, but that was my transportation when I first started out. Over time, um, I asked Kathy one day if, since I was really liking it, if I could stay for another hour, so until 2. But mind you, when I started, I was a senior in high school still. So I would basically probably go to my homeroom and then have to get ready to go about 8:30 or 8:40 or whenever they STA came to the school to get me. Um, and then I'd be there till 1 o'clock, and then I'd get home, or not, I'd get back to school just in time for the last period of the day, which it was okay because I was in special education for most of my school life, so I wasn't really missing anything major. And I thought that the school, nobody told me that this was permanent, and so even after I graduated high school, I still continued to go to work on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays for a while, and then over time, that long time, over time, it started to switch just a little from a volunteer job to getting paid just a little bit every couple of weeks to just clean. So what I do was clock in and clean the bathrooms and clean the doors and the top of like the the mirrors in the bathrooms and the toilets and the front doors and the windows and do other things. Kathy's the one that started that. When Vicky took over, it's continued. Um, yeah, and over time, for a while, a long while, I worked in the infant room. We were. That's when we were in our old building, and then the new building was built because they had to take down the old building because it was getting old, and I guess for that property and at the property across the street, and so um, and then there was a period of time where we didn't have any infants at all, but I am totally just going around in circles with this story. So anyway, we didn't have any infants at all, but if the infants were sleeping, I could go, I was allowed to go across the hall into the toddler room and play with the toddlers and help out a little bit if I needed to be helped or needed just to be there. I didn't get paid for being in another room because I was not because there was only a certain amount of kids to teachers. So it was mostly volunteer all day long, and then like at noon after the kids were asleep, I'd go and eat lunch first and then clock in at like 1 o'clock or something like that. This was after I stopped writing STA, and Vicky would bring me or pick me up from my house and bring me there. Um, for the most part, and then over time again, Dick did it, and by the time Dick did it, it was just once a week. Cause I don't know how it went from 3 days a week for so long to just once a week, but it did. So I don't know why I didn't just stay all 3 days throughout the entire journey of being there, but yeah, a lot of people in my life said that, Vicky took advantage of me a little bit because the daycares have like certain set of rules and credits and schooling that most people have to do. And I mean, I had to do my yearly background check and stuff. That was required. And then like another little online short um, class that was on like safe sleeping or something. But other than that, I didn't do anything else to get like certified so I could do other things with the kids because it wasn't worth it. Because Vicky told me that even if I did do all that, she didn't see me as material, or not material. She didn't say it that way, but she didn't see it as a good idea for me to be alone with any of the kids. So I was never allowed to be alone with the kids. Someone would always have to be there. So, like if we had somebody new and taking them outside one day or something like that, and I was helping someone get their shoes on or coat on or whatever I was doing, and she was going to take the rest of them out. And like, okay, well, then I'm not supposed to be alone with kids. Not because I didn't do any, that I did something wrong. It's just not allowed. Policy prohibits that. So, yeah, um, I did, and then our old cook that we had, Um, she sometimes would take me home. This was before Dick started doing it as much as he did, or taking me and bringing me home. But um, I I was got in the car to go home with her one day, and she and I had asked Vicky earlier that day if there was any possible way that I could like maybe just get paid a little bit to while I'm in a classroom helping out, and she said no because of the teacher child ratio. Like I think it was like 10, what is it? Like 10 toddlers to two teachers and 8 toddlers to one teacher, so that it was impossible for her to pay me just to be there even if I didn't change diapers or do anything, but I just did my usual thing, and she said no, and our old cook at the time, she didn't agree with that. She's like she knew the policies too, but she kind of was on my side with that. So, I mean, I still liked it. I was there for as long as I was. I I just put up with. I just did what I had to do every other day, normal, every other day basis. Just come and basically play with kids all day, keep them entertained, read books. Just always the toddlers always like to sit on my lap and read books, or just help laying down for naps, or get their hands washed. I could do that. I could get their hands washed. I could be behind the counter to help them get their hands washed because the teacher was already right there and they could see. So that was okay for me to do. And I did have my food handler's card at the time, so it was okay for me to help pass out food. And over time, it kind of, when I did start getting paid, um, sometimes I would get probably like the least amount of money I would make was like maybe $10 because that would be like just I'd try to clean for as long as I could, but still do a decent job, but try to stay on the clock as long as I could. The most I would probably make was like $20, maybe. And that was if she would come into the break room and ask me, uh, or even before lunch or at lunchtime, she'd say, at noon, could you clock in and give so and so a break and then so and so a break. Like I said, I would never be alone with the kids, but it would be I would like if I was giving people breaks, it would be I was okay to I wasn't by myself. I was still with one of the other certified teachers, but I could give breaks and be with someone else when I was doing breaks, and that would be like a half hour to an hour or whatever each. If I was giving one person a break, and then giving another person a break, and then like at our old building when I give someone a break in one of the other rooms, the 3-year-old 3-year-old classroom, I think it was 4-year-olds. I can't remember which. I can't remember the name that they named that a long time ago. But like as soon as the kids were asleep, I it would be like my responsibility to um like mop their floor for them and clean the table and the chairs and stack them up and things like that. And before lunch, if I wasn't helping wash hands and do all that stuff, I'd go into the hallway and get the cots out and set the cots out and put the kids' sheets and blankets on them if they brought them. And yeah, so I did. That's the kind of stuff I did for, gosh, I don't even know, like from, what was it? Oh yeah, it was from, oh, April 30th, 2001 to March, Friday. Oh no, it wasn't March 20th. It was Friday the 13th of that year of 2020. So it was April 30th of 2001 to March 13th, Friday, March 13th of 2020. I don't know. Is is tell me in the comments below. Is the number is Friday the 13th a myth? Is it a myth that it's bad luck? Or is Friday the 13th good luck? tell me if it's because some people say that Friday the 13th you get bad luck, and some people say that Friday the 13th you get good luck. So tell me that. So let me get my calculator out again. So let me get my calculator out again. Oh wait, so let me get my calculator out again, and I'll just put it down here so you can see what I'm doing. So let's see. 200. No, not that way. No, not that way. Oh, 2020. No, dang it. I keep doing this wrong. 2025 minus 2001 is. Oh, not 2020. No, no, no. No, 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 no. Oh, see. 2025 minus 2020. There we go. Is. No, not 5. I'm not doing this right. So I worked at the Spokane Child Development Center from 2001 to 2020. Oh, okay. So let's see. 2020 minus 2001. Is that right? So actually, this says 19, but it was in March. Or no, it was in April, at the end of April that I started. So technically, it would have been 19 years had I had one more month. But I didn't get one more month because of COVID. So technically, that says 19, but it wasn't April yet when I had to leave because of the pandemic. So that was actually 18 years. Would have been 18 years. But still, either way, that's a long time to be at one job for about 18 years or so. And you can do it on your calculators, but I think I got it right because yeah, it would have been 19. That's the calculator said 19, but actually minus it by 1 and be 18. Because technically speaking, it would have been 18 years because the pandemic came up and that that forced me to have to quit because of my kidney disease, which also includes a compromised immune system because the pandemic ruined all of our lives. But spend at that's a long time to spend at one job. And so, yeah, that was my experience. And today would have been the 24th. Today is my anniversary of when I started. I should put that on Facebook and because I'm friends with some of my old coworkers on Facebook, so I should put that on Facebook and see if. Sorry, my nose itches. Every time I do a video, guys, my nose always itches, and that drives me crazy. Yeah, I should put that on Facebook. Today would have been 24 years at the Spokane Child Development Center. But thanks to the pandemic, that wasn't the case. So I'm going to put that up on Facebook and see if any of my old coworkers like my post or not. But I was, what was I? What was I? 18 or 19 when I graduated? 18? I think I was 18 when I graduated high school in 2001. Because I was born in February, and then we graduated in June in 2001. So, yeah, I would have turned 18 that year, that winter of '01. So, yeah, I was just 18 years old and a senior in high school when I first started at the Spokane Child Development Center. I don't know how old I was when I quit in 2020, but I can let's see if I can get the calculator out again. Let's see. I want, I want, I, how old was I in 2020? So, 20, 25. Wait. Oh, you know what, you guys? I'm not going to worry about it. I don't know how old I was when I quit in 2020, and that'll just confuse me. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this chat with me video, and if you want to participate, I'd sure like to know what your guys' first job was and how long you worked there. And but yeah, I just thought I'd do this video because it is the last day of April, and yeah, that's when I started my dream job when I was a senior in high school and 18 years old, and then worked there till 2020. So don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share with your friends. And uh, we will see you in the next video. Bye, friends.